the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 301 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, how's it going on this fine Tuesday evening?
Well, I kind of zoned you out there for a second because I was scrolling the social medias, and there was this guy making a knife, and I was just entranced by it. So I was like, "Huh, what is
Making a knife?"
Yeah, it was like one of those. You know how the Facebook will get you with these dumb 2-second videos or
the
1
Facebook.
minute.
Wait a minute, I didn't think you went on Facebook.
I was checking for news, and then I don't go on the Facebook very often. But now there's the hydraulic press squishing thing.
Oh, the hydraulic press, man.
Hydraulic press.
This is why
I got zoned out there while you were doing the intro.
This is why you need to get on TikTok, James. I'm telling you, this is the type of stuff, and the algorithm is
that's
so
why
good.
I can't.
They will never stop feeding you videos that you're interested in.
Well, the Instagram already does that. It's already.
Oh no, Instagram is not as good as the TikTok, man.
I can't do the TikTok.
But TikTok is the best.
The hydraulic press always gets me because I can't wait to see what they're going to squish next.
See, the TikTok knows what you feel like that moment. Like it can feed you. I could be like in a NASCAR mood and it'll just feed me NASCAR stuff. And then the next day I go on there and I'm in hydraulic press mode and it will just keep giving me hydraulic press. It's amazing. They can tell what you're watching and how long you're watching it and just immediately feed you more crap like that. And I never see repeat stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, so bad. Yeah. Well,
it is.
It got
awful.
me.
It's terrible.
It got me today. The damn reel got me right at the end there. So I was just my mouth was agape, and I was waiting to see how this knife was going to get brought back to life from being a rusty piece of junk.
Well, I don't know about the knife, but if you zone out of the show because of the hydraulic press, I forgive you because the hydraulic press is pretty amazing. Yeah, especially when stuff does things you don't expect it to do.
Like when he does when it's like yarn or string and it explodes. That's always really fun.
Yeah, the shredder channel is pretty good too.
There's also the sander guy who sands things down.
Dude, yeah. I was ready to get myself a lathe and start sanding and woodworking.
We've been trying to get this podcast off the ground. No, 300 plus episodes in, and
should we just start a TikTok podcast?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We've got nothing as successful as the sander or the hydraulic press.
No, I know.
It's unbelievable.
Some of the crap on TikTok, and these people are making money off that stuff. We don't. Make
I know
nothing,
it's terrible.
James.
I know
we're poor.
Dirt poor.
We get nothing. We pay to do this podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Some of us pay to do this.
Yeah,
and some of us show up.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I guess we might be a little bit
the collective loosely, we. Yeah, the collective.
I might be using that word loosely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some NASCAR, James, since it is a NASCAR podcast.
Yes.
Can we just is there any reason ever to go to another track than Homestead-Miami Speedway for the championship ever again? This track is just the greatest track in NASCAR.
It's really good right now. The wall riding is just ridiculous.
Even before Kyle Larson decided to make it a race and make it exciting, I thought it was a good race and nothing was happening, but it was great to see the comers and goers. It was great to see the different strategies. Thank God Denny Hamlin's crew decided to do something different and make it interesting. So you didn't know what was going to happen every second. Right. It's just such a good track. The skill that's required to drive this track, and it doesn't matter. I think Dale Jarrett could race the big brown truck out here, and we could run a bunch of them, and it would still race good on this track. Everything races good on this track.
Yeah, it's whoever's brave enough to find the cushion up there at the tip top of the track is. Yeah. It's honestly, every time we come here and we do that, I just can't believe it.
Dude, I watched a video of Kyle Larson doing it out the side of his car. And I don't think I could do it at 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, he doesn't come more than 2 feet off the freaking wall.
James, he doesn't come more than 5 inches off the wall.
Well, Dale Jr. was doing it too on Saturday.
I know, and he's
riding around.
He's practically a rookie anymore.
Well, the first time I remember somebody just rim riding all the way around, it was Dale. Yeah. Dale is the original from Michigan way back in the day, where he would just hop up there on the old worn out blacktop at Michigan, and he would just ride.
I will say, like you and I, neither of us have been to Homestead-Miami. But I have been to Chicagoland, and the first time I went to Chicagoland, I strolled down into turn 1 and 2, and it was nighttime practice for the Xfinity series, and they were wall riding like this, and it doesn't look real. Like, it doesn't look like there is any possible way they can do what they're doing. It is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. We've played probably on the video game, right? A few times, and I've tried to get up there like that. And I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not possible.
Yeah. You know who's not good at Homestead-Miami?
Not Chris Bell.
The guy who won the race.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a kind of definitely out of nowhere from one point in the race where he was, struggling to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know if he's Mr. Clutch, but
that's what I was going to ask you. Is he our clutch guy now? I mean, he kind of does it when he needs to.
I guess if Harvick has to pass the torch to somebody, it might be Christopher Bell, because he keeps winning these races. Like, this wasn't a must-win race like he's done in the past, but I mean, to lock yourself into the championship, it's as big as it gets. You get that thing done, and now he gets to go enjoy Martinsville. I mean, so he's got 6 career wins. I'm looking at it right now. This is the 3rd playoff advancing win that he's had now. He's last year he won twice in must-win situations, and then this year he locks into the championship for the 2nd year in a row. He's climbing the clutch rank here pretty high. He's getting there.
Yeah, like you said, not a must-win, but definitely makes things a lot easier for him going forward. I had him penciled in as my pick for Martinsville, because he did that last year.
Well, I had him in the final 4, and then I crossed him off 2 minutes before we started the podcast, so I feel like a doofus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, he's the best shot for JGR, right?
Well, yeah, he's the only
one who's locked in. But even if Denny and Truex both get in, which, by the way, I don't think they're going to.
Oh, Martin's done. But yeah, I mean, if Hamlin, I hate to cross Denny out at Martinsville just yet.
Yeah. But I can cross him out for Phoenix, though.
Probably.
I don't know.
I just don't see Denny rising to the occasion.
I don't think that Denny's better than Chris,
It's so strange because Denny's been better all year. He's been better all year, and now we get to this very minute, very highly detailed part of the season where everything's on the line. And now it's like, Christopher Bell. And I agree with you. I don't disagree with you.
No, I mean, the thing is, though, is everybody's got to go up against Larson, and as long as Larson doesn't beat himself, which he did this weekend, it's gonna be hard to beat him.
I know Larson's getting a lot of crap for hitting the sand barriers.
Yeah,
but I don't know if people are putting in the whole context of Kyle Larson right now. He's racing with nothing to lose.
Well, that's the thing, is like, he had nothing to lose there, everything to gain. Yeah, and of course he's gonna try and close that up. Why not? He probably was gonna be speeding.
Yeah, so what?
Yeah, who cares?
He was trying to win the race. Yeah. That's all he wanted to do was win the race. It's either for him, it's winner. He's Ricky Bobby right now, first to last. Right?
The way that race was going, he wasn't going to win the race in the position he was in. He had to get past Blaney on that pit stop.
And he gave it hell. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, got real lucky. Those barrels were there.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's still, if you look at that wall is still possible to hit the end of that wall. The barrels fortunately bounced him away from it, but man, if he'd have hit that concrete.
Yeah, I know. It was a strange.
Been ugly.
Yeah, that's the reverse Kurt Busch. The very first Chase Championship. Kurt loses a tire right there and just barely misses those sand barrels. And Larson he got into him. We don't see the rare sand barrel water barrel crash as much as I'd like. So it was nice. It was nice that he brought it back.
I mean, it's usually a pretty massive delay. So.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of.
It was a red flag.
Fortunately, I mean, I guess I prefer the sand. I think over the water.
Yeah, I guess sand you can blow off.
Well, and the other thing with sand is if you bust a sand barrel, but it doesn't break it open, you can still use that sand barrel. If you get a hole in the water barrel, it's draining, man. The whole thing's coming out.
Do Do you think the cleanup crew, when that happens, what is the AMR safety crew, right?
Yeah.
When that happens, do you think their heart just drops and they're just so like, oh man,
Well,
this is
considering I know what it's like to be in the tower at a race when something like that happens, yeah, because the pressure's on you now, because it's not just you got to go to work, but you got to go to work and you're on the clock, man, because everybody is watching you and wanting you to get done faster than you can get done.
Yeah, it's bad.
So yeah,
poor guys.
it's gotta suck. It's gotta really suck when that happens.
It's gotta be the worst. It's the worst.
And I mean, credit them. They have plans in place and all that stuff is ready to go. Somebody hits the catch fence, somebody knocks down the safer barrier. Everybody's ready to go and fix that stuff. And NASCAR gets a lot of crap for how long it takes for cautions and stuff, but they're ready to go. They usually are prepared for everything. So they're prepared for jet dryers catching on fire and burning the racetrack. I mean, for God's sakes, they managed to get away with that one. So
yes, they did. Yeah,
never live that one down. That's for sure.
Oh my God. Nope.
Yeah. So Larson blows it. But like you said, nothing to lose there. Going for the win. Had to go for the win there. There's no reason to race for second. I mean,
was it Eddie Griffin that who said on DBC? You're a DBC listener.
Brett Griffin, you mean?
Brett Griffin, thank you.
Yeah.
I get Brett, and it's a basketball thing. Eddie Griffin, sorry.
Gotcha.
Brett Griffin. Did he say that Larson runs out of talent? Is that what he said?
I don't remember if it was him that said it.
Somebody said. I don't want to.
What's
have
the
the
title
wrong...
of the podcast this week? Because
I don't.
The title was.
I only saw the social media snip, and I was immediately outraged.
Yeah, I mean too talented for his own good is what Freddie Kraft said.
There you go. Yeah.
So they weren't being derogatory with it, but Larson does have a history of overstepping his bounds a little bit and going just a little too far.
He steps in it.
Yeah.
Yep. He steps in it from time to time.
And what they said on the show was that, there's guys out there that'll run 80%. And Larson runs 103% all the time. He never is off throttle, man. He is just, and that's the dirt track mentality. When you're racing dirt, sprint cars or late models, you got 20 laps sometimes, and you're starting
just digging
20th. Yeah. You got to go. There's no time to ride in those races. So yeah, that's the way he's conditioned, is to race like that. And we get the comment on DBC was that. Do we run the risk of not having Larson be somebody like Jimmy Johnson or Jeff Gordon? Because while he's probably the most talented driver out there, he takes himself out of situations and he's not just going to run away with things because of that.
Might I add that things are different now.
Yeah.
You don't try to settle for top fives
No.
and top tens as much as you used to. I mean, all these guys are driving it's just a different era that we're in. The numbers are going to look a little weird.
You want an example, James, of how this system is now and what this system has done? Let's look at the Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin battle in this race. Because those two raced each other to death, to the point that Blaney gets out of the car and calls Hamlin a hack. And you can't. That's how you have to race. You have to race like that. There's no
you got to be
room.
nuts.
You can't. It used to be, the Mark Martins of the world would let the guy go by because he was faster. You can't do that anymore because you're never going to get a chance to get back by him.
Nope, I know. Yep. It's just a different game now.
Yeah.
We have we're going to have a champion, and I'm one of these guys is, I mean, they're not even at 20 top 10s yet for the season.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever have another Jimmy Johnson. Not in the way that Jimmy Johnson's stats look, because I just don't think the system allows for it.
No.
We certainly will have drivers that are better than Jimmy Johnson. Larson could be that guy. I don't know. Certainly is better all around than Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. I think it's, best of his era. There's always a best of their era guy who comes in.
And we've had this discussion a million times. And I think, right now, we've talked about it on here, probably our modern day AJ Foyt is Tony Stewart. But Larson's going to take that title from him because Larson's better at everything than Tony Stewart was.
Well, and if Tony's AJ Foyt, Larson's Tony Stewart.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then, there's going to be,
there'll be somebody after Larson.
And maybe this is a segue back to our race winner, but Chris Bell and Kyle Larson are cut from a very similar very similar path. I mean,
Yeah.
Bell. I mean, we talked about it last
How
week.
much have they battled each other?
Yeah, all the way up, and we talked about it last week, and how Toyota gave up Larson and did not want to do that with Bell.
Yeah.
And it's paid off.
Shoot, they gave up Jones to keep Bell.
Exactly, and now they have been rewarded with 2 championship berths, which I think 10, 20 years from now we're going to look at these championship 4 berths and hold them in very high regard, similar to the NCAA Final Four. You'll talk about. I think there will come a time where you'll talk about this guy had this many Final Four appearances, championship 4 appearances, and now Christopher Bell's got 2 of them, and that's all these drivers drive this entire season just to have that shot, and Larson and Bell are there now, and Bell was a stranger road this year, and it wasn't always perfect, but again, it's kind of like Larson. Larson's had a really good playoffs with, he had a sketchy round of 12,
Right.
but he's been bad fast, and Bell did the same thing. I mean, Bell could have won last week if he had one more lap, and it's just these guys. Maybe these are the 2 guys we just got to watch out for at Phoenix now. I mean, it's been clear so far here in the round of 8.
If I'm Kyle Larson, the first thing I do at Martinsville is wreck William Byron.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's his biggest competition, I think.
He's still hanging around, yeah. He's the consistent one.
Yeah,
of the group.
that's the thing, is Byron's consistent, and he's consistent to the point where he can pull that win out when he needs to, and Phoenix could be that place. So
he did it. Yeah, he did it again on Sunday. He wasn't there, but he was there. You know what I mean? He was like hanging around.
4th. I mean, top 5 of them to death all season long.
Yep.
So yeah, Larson needs to wreck Byron, and then he's got a pretty good shot at the championship at Phoenix.
I wonder what Mr. H would think about all that.
I don't know. It probably would not go over very well.
Yeah, probably.
Let's talk about Brad Keselowski. Another strong performance out of an RFK car. Unfortunately, it's not the one that's still in the playoffs the last 2 weeks. But Brad Keselowski has another good run, and then ends up getting screwed over by the Larson incident, and then getting trapped, and then getting caught up in an accident after that. When John Hunter decided to try and clear himself and wrecked a bunch of people.
Yeah, Brad's got to. I know he'd never admit this. Knowing Brad as long as we have, as watching him, he'd never admit this, but he's got to think back to Talladega and wonder what if for him. Because he could be dancing with these guys still.
Again, man, Brad can put together 2/3 of a race, but can't put all 3/3 away together.
I've seen Brad Keselowski win the most high pressured must win of anybody in the history of the sport at Talladega.
Yeah,
but I wonder now, watching this, if being an owner and if that added pressure has put a little stink on him.
I don't know. I mean, this weekend had nothing to do with pressure.
No.
They just pitted at the wrong time. It was just they just happened to pit before Larson decided to knock the barrels down.
But they're fast now, man. He's going to win a race. He might not get it this year, but he's going to win a race here next season. I don't have any doubt about that now. I think he's going to be there now.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely he's a playoff driver next season for sure.
Yep, he'll be back. He'll be back,
and he's going to do it with a win. There'll be a win in there somewhere.
Yep.
He's running too good. I mean, I guess people can gain during the off season and they can fall behind, but at this point, if they continue where they're at, they're winning a race next season.
Yeah. As long as they don't go backwards. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
So, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else really to talk about heavily in this race. Tyler Reddick finished 3rd, but wasn't really there all day. It was they just weren't good.
Fast in qualifying.
Yeah.
And then just kind of hung around, but enough so Doug. He's in this.
Yeah,
he's in this. He's in the best position of anybody else on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and then Martin Truex Jr. real fast in qualifying, gets the pole.
Yeah,
and then blows a motor during this thing.
Eric, I gotta tell you.
Yeah,
listening to Martin on that radio, I tweeted it out. Don't come to Martinsville. Just stay home.
Yeah, but that pit crew cost him all day long.
I know, but they're the whole team is bad.
Yeah.
They have been absolutely putrid in this playoffs, and the fact that they're still hanging around is by nothing short of sheer luck and the points that they have.
No, and they're going to come out this weekend and win, and they'll be locked into the Final Four.
Oh, I hope not. I don't want to see them. They're so bad. I don't want somebody backing into Phoenix. Just stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home, man. I mean, it's bad.
What about Denny Hamlin? Have we heard what broke yet?
I haven't seen what broke.
I didn't listen to this podcast, so
I don't know what happened there.
It looked so weird because that tire never went down even after the hit, and the wheel jerked right out of his hands.
He was driving into that corner extremely hard. I don't know if again, that's pure speculation on my part. I don't want to say Denny Hamlin's at fault for something that's definitely not his fault, but
right.
He was really hammering into that corner, like trying to diamond it a little bit.
Yeah.
And he went he went to the bottom of the track, and that car just did not respond.
It was weird.
Yeah, that was a weird one, and that's not joking kid and kind of tongue in cheek, a little bit serious. Denny Hamlin's going to choke, but that's there's choking, and then there's
that's
a part
not a
failure.
mistake that Denny Hamlin makes.
That's not a Denny Hamlin. Yeah, that's not a Denny Hamlin mistake. He was in this hunt. I mean, he was my pick in this race, and I was feeling pretty good about it there for a long time. I mean, he was set for a top 5. He was going to get a good points day.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't going to win this race, but he was up there, man. He was threatening, and then just nothing. He came out of there with a stinker.
Yes, he did. With that, he's outside looking in. Tyler Reddick closest looking in and 5th with 10 points out. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin tied 17 points out. Chris Buescher 43 points out.
Chris Buescher had he didn't have he probably had the worst weekend.
Yeah.
He just was never there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if Brad could, he'd switch
for sure
places with them if he could.
For sure. So it's looking pretty good that we're not going to see Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. in the Final Four.
It's probably not possible. Yeah, it's mathematically possible, but man, that would be. I mean, Denny and Hamlin would have to dominate and then lose, and Martin would have to win for it to even happen, or something like that.
So what do you think? We got Chris Bell, we got Kyle Larson in. William Byron is in by 30. Ryan Blaney is in by 10. What do you think? Who's the last 2 spots? I mean, obviously one of these guys can win next weekend, and I would put up a pretty good argument for probably any one of those 6 drivers could win next weekend at Martinsville.
Yeah. Yeah.
So minus the win, or maybe, you think this person's going to dominate. Who gets in? Who's those last 2 spots? Do you think it changes? Do you think it's Byron and Blaney?
Well, I think Byron's good.
I think so too.
Plus 30, he's just got to go and have a good couple of stages, and he'll be just
don't
fine.
Blow up. Finish top 10 the first couple stages.
Yeah, don't have an issue.
Yep.
Yeah, don't have an issue. Just stay clean. If he just stays
clean,
don't
get DQ'd. Don't be testing the inspection this week. Just come with a clean car.
I mean, go score 20 points and get up plus 50 and be done with it.
Yep.
So I think he's good. I don't think they're going to be sweating. Now, if Blaney was on the outside looking in, I would like Blaney even better, I think, because I think he's going to be good at Martinsville.
Yeah.
With aero package. I mean,
I want to see Blaney in the Final Four at
he
Phoenix,
could
because
be really
he could win
dangerous.
Phoenix.
Yeah. The problem he's got is I don't know if he can leapfrog Byron. 20 points is a lot. I mean, I know it's 2 stages, but he's got to, I don't know. I like the Fords at Martinsville. I think Blaney's going to be okay. I think the 4 we got is the 4 we get.
So Blaney needs Bell, Larson, or maybe Harvick to win, right?
Yeah, Bell, Larson, yep, any of those guys. Or Byron. Byron wins. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I suppose Byron would be okay too.
If I'm him, if Denny...
Byron might not... I mean, I don't know, because Reddick's only got to gain 10 points on him.
Yeah, I know.
And Truex is only 17 points out, and so is Denny. I mean, those guys are both really good at. I mean, they joke on DBC. They name Martinsville after Martin Truex Jr. So,
well, if Hamlin and Truex are way up front all day, that's where the pressure gets put on Blaney.
Yeah.
Because at the end, if Hamlin and Truex, let's say they're 1-2 all day, that just knocks Ryan Blaney right into that must-win mode as well. I mean, it's fairly simple. It doesn't become a math game anymore. It becomes a I got to beat those guys somehow. I got to get in front of those guys. And I think that's got to be their mentality all day, no matter where they are on the track. You keep that 12 car within a spot of that 11 or that 19 all day, because I think those are the two you got to watch.
In the spring, Martin Truex Jr. finished 3rd. Denny Hamlin finished 4th. Ryan Blaney finished 7th.
That's enough right now. That will get Blaney to Phoenix right there.
Tyler Reddick finished 22nd. That's right. Tyler Reddick was terrible in this race in the spring.
I don't have a lot of faith in Reddick.
Chris Buescher finished 14th. Who am I missing?
Nobody. Those are the 5 we're talking. Well, Byron. Did Byron win?
No. Byron finished. Where the hell is Byron? Byron finished 23rd.
Oh boy. Well, he doesn't have to. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well.
Finished 23rd. He only got 15 points in the spring.
Well, yeah, that's not going to get it done, is it? That could change things.
15 points will probably get him in.
Yeah, Martinsville. Yeah, so Larson won.
He's 30 points up. 15 points will get him in.
That gets him to 45. 45. He's got to be 45 ahead of the next guy.
Unless there's a new winner from the playoffs, 15 points.
Well,
gets him in.
if you think that Tyler Reddick's not going to be any good, then really he's got an extra 7 points right there. So yeah, interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
and of course, the spring means nothing because the weather's different, and all that stuff. And this one's under the lights, or last one was under the lights? I can't remember. I don't think any of them are.
It starts. Yeah, hold on. I'll find out for you in just a minute.
You think we'd be prepared on this podcast?
Oh, we were doing research beforehand.
We were doing research. And
it starts at 2. The spring race is usually the night race.
That's right.
This starts at 2.
Right. So there you go.
You want the whole thing? Because the stages are 130, 260, 500, and then no, it's on NBC, by the way.
What time is the command to start engines, James? No,
I don't have that in front of me. Probably at 1:55.
Yeah.
So there you go. We'll just guess.
There you go. There's Martinsville. There's Homestead-Miami. Bummer that it's not the championship race because man, is it good? It's so good. And we get such a great race here, and then in 2 weeks we're gonna go to Phoenix, and it's just gonna go blah.
Yeah, I know, but there's still the drama, which is good. Which is somewhat good.
Christopher Bell's 6th victory in 142 Cup Series races. First victory and second top 10 finish in 4 races at Homestead-Miami. Ty Gibbs in 7th was the highest finishing rookie. Nice, quiet, good day for Ty Gibbs in this one.
He's the man. Yeah. He's good.
Another one who's going to get a win next year.
Yep. He'll be a playoff driver next year, too.
Yep. NASCAR Xfinity Series was in action Saturday afternoon. The Contender Boats 300. Sam Mayer gets the clinch at the end, locks himself into the final 4, beats Riley Herbst, who was coming.
He needed what, a lap? 2?
Yeah.
Maybe 2?
Riley, man, where the hell did he come from? Where's he been all season?
I don't know, but
he really was there at the beginning of the season and then fell off in the middle, and now he's back and clicking.
I guess he probably wishes his playoffs were a little bit better early on, but yeah, that's a good little stretch he's having here.
What do you think of Sam Mayer in the final 4 going for a championship? Do you think that the pressure's going to get to him, or you think that he can duck that pressure and get a win?
I mean, he didn't look like the pressure was bothering him on Saturday.
I feel like 8 weeks ago, I'd say the pressure would get to him, but anymore, I don't think that's the case anymore. I think he's overcome it.
Yeah, he is. I tell you what, he had a rough stretch there where if you remember, I don't know if you. I'm looking at the stats, and I remember him having a rough stretch. I'm surprised he's here, basically, because he was really
he wanted to get here. That's why.
Yeah, he was really good. In the summer, like he went looking back to Pocono, 2nd, 1st, 5th, 2nd, 1st, and then he goes on this start to the playoffs where. And I know Xfinity starts a little bit later, but he goes Daytona 19th, 11th, 37th, 35th, 38th, and then let's win the Charlotte Roval, and then he's back in business.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that win.
Yeah, massive turnaround. Like outside looking in, and now you're there.
Can you say though that
I don't think he's consistent enough, honestly, but he's there, so it's hard now.
Does his trend go with Junior Motorsports this year too, though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
Because they've definitely gotten better here at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you there. 100%. Yep. he's depending on who else gets in there. Like right now, John Hunter's gonna race for this championship, and between the two, John Hunter's gonna be he's gonna be tough to handle.
Yeah, he's 44 points to the good. He's getting in. I mean, there's only one driver locked in, one race to go. John Hunter's not falling out. But Cole Custer, Austin Hill are only 3 in. So they can go somewhere. Yeah, Allgaier's 3 out. So
that's your battle right there.
Yeah.
Outside of
Sammy Smith is 49 out. He's got to win. Chandler Smith has to win 54 out. Sheldon Creed definitely has to win 65 out.
Yeah, I think gotta win.
So Chandler Smith should statistically still be able to get in on points, but he's not going to.
Yeah, I think the championship runs through two. I like 2 guys, and Sam. Unfortunately, Sam's not one of them. But I mean, if Austin Hill gets knocked out, then yeah, I like Sam Mayer a little bit better.
Yeah.
I know Cole Custer hasn't been super impressive all year.
But his teammate has just right now, and now Cole's running
fire.
good too.
Yeah,
So-
I like the experience of John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer, who have been around the block quite a bit. I mean, Sam's just a pup. I mean, he's 20 years old, so
yeah.
Sam
Sam needs a good pit stop to end the race. That's his chance.
Yes, exactly.
If he can get that, maybe he can do it. But this race is going to be less of track position than the Cup Series race will be on Sunday.
Him winning this title would not be as shocking as when Hemrick won it. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So again, the Xfinity Series gets a little weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, and you also have to remember too that unlike the Cup Series, you don't necessarily have to win the Xfinity Series race to win the championship.
No, you do not.
I mean, you don't have to in the Cup Series either, but we've had to ever since this championship has been created.
There's been times where the Xfinity champ doesn't always win the race. Most of the time they do, but not always.
Yep.
Not always. But yeah, John, I just think right now, John Hunter's he's the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, he's got to be
leaps and bounds. But yeah, I mean, some of these guys can take a swing at him. Maybe you never know.
Yeah, they need. I mean, they didn't even have an issue at Phoenix. Is what they need.
And Cole's been fast. I mean, he's racked up stage wins here. I know he hasn't won the races here late, but he should be all right at Martinsville. We're gonna find out, man. It's gonna be. I think Martinsville's gonna be wild.
Does Cole just have the one win at Portland?
No, he's got. Didn't he have 2? Hold on, I thought he had 2, but I'll double check this really quick. Bear with me.
Can't remember. You might be right.
I'm looking at it right now. He has.
Oh yeah. No,
he has Chicago. He won Chicago.
Okay, that's right.
That doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't really count.
Yeah, the Chicago parade. I get. Well,
yeah, Chicago, not even a half a race. Chicago.
He got bonus points for that Chicago race, which is basically the reason he's in right now.
Yeah,
so I guess you have to count it.
I guess. But that wasn't a win on performance. That was a win on rain.
That was
lightning, I guess.
We gotta get the hell out of here. That was that win.
Yeah.
But he's been. Let me see. I was gonna see what's his average finish right now. I mean, he's pretty fast, man. He qualifies good. He finishes well. But yeah, he doesn't have a lot of wins. So I think you gotta win. Honestly, you gotta go in there trying to win, and beating John Hunter's no easy task.
One of the bigger stories this race was some young unknown rookie driving the '88 car, Dale Jr. So what unknown that we don't even use his last name anymore.
Junebug.
Yeah. Gets to race again. Second race this season, the Xfinity Series, and I mean it wasn't a Bristol performance, but they ran pretty good in this race.
That son of a gun almost top 5 both starts this year.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, exactly. If he wouldn't have caught on fire at Bristol.
His pants were on fire.
Yeah.
Or what did he say? He got a hole in his pants.
Yeah. I mean, he did take out his teammate to do it.
Oh, Josh Berry. If Josh was in the playoffs, I think everybody would feel a little bit worse. But
you need to listen to DBC this week just to hear TJ's discussion about spotting for Dale Jr. because it's really good.
Oh, gosh.
It's good stuff. So basically, Junior said he didn't I listened to Junior's podcast too. Junior said he didn't understand his spotter, which was not TJ this weekend, which usually is TJ, has been TJ for years. His spotter told him where Josh Berry was, but the way he gave the information, Junior basically tuned him out and didn't hear it correctly and heard that Josh Berry was coming to the inside. So he moved up to try and give him room and ran right into Josh Berry and put him in the wall. So
yes,
there you go.
Yeah, that was something. I know he feels bad, but he doesn't feel as bad as he would have.
Yeah. Nah, it's fine. No biggie. But yeah, top 5 finish for Junior, gets 5th in this thing. Man, I'd love to see him more in the Xfinity Series. I like seeing Junior run. And he shows he still got it, man. Still got it.
Can we just get him to run for the title? Come on.
That ain't happening. Amy's not letting him get in the car at a super speedway, man.
Okay, so we've seen Dale Jr. in small bites.
Yeah.
He's good enough to run with these guys.
Oh yeah. Oh, if he ran a full season in the Xfinity Series, he'd be running for the championship.
He'd win a race.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Somewhere.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to race the big ones anymore.
No. Nope, I agree. I don't think there's... Do you know Ryan Newman was in this race?
He was. Well, him and Dale Jr. started next to each other, and then they took the parade lap in the truck together.
Yeah, there you go.
That was cool.
Newman finished last, 38th.
It was his first start in the series in, I think, a decade? Something like that? Over a decade?
Yeah.
It's been a while. He wasn't he at one time... Remember when Penske fired up the Xfinity Series for a while? And him and Kurt Busch were like dominant in the Xfinity. Ryan had a lot of those moments, but
right.
Anyway, yeah, it was good to see him back out there.
Yeah, definitely.
He's just doing what he wants. I like it.
So Sam Mayer gets his first win on an oval, fourth victory in 82 Xfinity Series races, locks himself into the final four. Sammy Smith, highest finishing rookie in this one, 9th place for Sammy Smith. Then we go to Martinsville for the Xfinity Series as well this weekend to lock in your last two in the final four for the championship. And despite the fact that James forgot about it, the Craftsman Truck Series was also in action this weekend. Saturday as well. Saturday, I guess early afternoon start. Baptist Health Cancer Care 200. I don't know how you forgot about it, James, because the Michigan boy locked himself in with a win.
I know. I know. I was thinking too far ahead, and I cut it out of the notes, and then I didn't go back to it. So that's my fault.
Our boy Carson Hocevar gets himself a win, locks into the final four.
Eric, our dreams have come to fruition. Carson Hocevar has arrived.
Yeah.
No doubt about it now. No doubt about it. Awesome. I'm excited.
Yep.
I hope he gets it done.
Yep. Good finish to see him run down Ben Rhodes, get the win here in this thing. That was fun to see. Probably the biggest story out of the race, Zane Smith. Reddit gets another driver disqualified in the NASCAR.
Yeah. I mean, you could see it.
Yeah.
You could see it.
Yeah, if you were watching the race, the windshield was not working as it's intended, and NASCAR agreed, and so Zane Smith loses his position and drops to 34th, last place, 1 point in this race, despite leading 34 laps. And with that, Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar, Ben Rhodes, and Grant Enfinger are your final four for the Craftsman Truck Series.
Well, I was going to ask you who you like, but
I can't. I mean, you know who I want. I want Carson to win it. I think Corey Heim is the guy to beat, though.
He's a pain. Yeah,
you got to beat Corey Heim. Ben Rhodes, he just hasn't had the season. He probably shouldn't be in this thing. But you can't ever count him out. And I kind of feel the same way about Grant Enfinger. Grant Enfinger has been really good the last few years of just being that guy who can sneak in there. And what a swan song victory that would be to win a championship for GMS Racing as they leave the Truck Series.
Yeah, they got a shot at it. Nice representation for the series too, because you got
I like the mix we got.
Yep, 2 Chevys, a Ford, and a Toyota, and you got drivers of all different, kind of different eras. Like Carson's on his way to the Cup Series. He's gonna go big time now. And this is a good mix. I think Carson can get it done. He's just cocky enough to get it done. So we're gonna find out. I mean, he won his way in, so let's go, man.
As happy as he is when he wins a race, man, I just want to see that after a championship. Can you imagine how much fun he'd be at Phoenix after he wins that championship?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, all timer.
He won't be able to talk. I mean, he can barely talk when he wins now. I mean, can you imagine winning the title? Be good stuff.
Right. I know.
So, but he's got to beat Corey Heim, man. Got to beat that 11 truck. That's gonna be really, really tough because that truck has been good all season long. So
yeah, really fast. It's gonna be tough. That's a tall task.
Yes, it is. Last thing I want to talk about with the Truck Series before we move on, James. So I watched a YouTube video over the past week. following the Homestead. I think it was following Homestead. I don't think it was before it. I think you're familiar with the account, but I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube or if you've seen the shorts that they show all the time. But Break Hard is the account, and the video was Fox Sports is destroying the Truck Series.
Oh boy! And
go seek out the video, search it on YouTube, you'll find it. Again, Fox Sports is destroying the Truck Series. I thought it was a pretty good video, and I kind of agree with most of the stuff that he says. Man, they're hurting the series. I feel like this series is so irrelevant right now. And part of it is the coverage. They don't care enough to send the booth to the track. The booth misses stuff. It's not the booth's fault that they miss stuff. They're watching the same broadcast we're watching and trying to announce the race. But how many times, James, when you watch a truck race, do you see something happen and go, what just happened there? And they don't know. Or there'll be an accident and you can tell they're trying to figure out what happened. They know the caution's out. They don't know what happened. And then they'll show a truck and they're, oh, so-and-so crashed. But then there's this other truck crashed somewhere else and they're not related, but they are related. They just don't freaking know what's going on because they're not there. And I'm a big fan of Jamie Little. I really like the work that she does. I love the fact that a woman is being propelled in our sport to, the position that she's in announcing this truck series. But at the same time, I feel like male or female, you need to be up to par to be the lead person on one of these broadcasts. And Jamie just isn't excited enough. She reminds me of, so Jerry Punch was one of the best pit reporters ever, but he was bad in the booth because he didn't have enough emotion. Yeah. Dave Burns is another one. Dave Burns is just terrific on pit road, but man, is he bad in the booth. Yeah. And Jamie, I think she can get there. And I guess she's got to do it to get there.
Yeah, you got to get reps.
But get those reps in the. You have Adam Alexander. He's in the freaking studio because he's right down the hall doing the studio stuff. Right. Put him in the booth. Adam Alexander's one of the best in the booth. Yep. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over there. And then the other thing, James. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
The other thing is that. Do we need... So we got the glimpse of the truck series schedule for next season, all the series schedules a couple weeks ago. And every race is a companion race. The truck series have, one start next year that's not a companion race?
I think so, yeah.
Do we need... And this is coming from somebody who loves to go to a track and see 3 races. Do we need 3 series, NASCAR series, running on the same track every weekend?
Probably not.
Is it not just the same product over and over again?
They definitely need to diversify the schedule.
I don't understand why, and I do understand why, because the sanctioning fees are too much, and these smaller tracks can't afford to get the Truck Series or the Xfinity Series. But that's NASCAR's fault. So NASCAR needs to fix that. But it just, I don't know, man. This series has gotten so watered down that honestly, if I wasn't doing this podcast, I would have quit watching it. And it's too bad because there's some great personalities in the series, but the coverage is so bad that it's painful to watch.
Yeah, they need to go to smaller venues and they need a different television partner.
Yeah. Oh, so bad. I hope somebody jumps in like CW or something, that somebody comes in that isn't doing any other series that can just put their full effort into this truck series.
Yeah, it's they need Amazon or somebody like I know Turner is in the talks for the 2025 Cup schedule. Yeah. And Turner is putting live sports on Max now. And they didn't really promote this. I just noticed that the baseball playoffs are on there and then basketball's back and it's all on Max. And I'm like, "Oh, so TNT's just going right to Max? Why can't we get the Truck Series on there? I mean, if we're trying to get some live sports rights, why don't we kind of branch out a little bit?" And you see how excited people are about the SRX series, and not to say that SRX is perfect or anything like that, but I feel like if the Truck Series just kind of slowed itself down and small and became a little bit smaller, they could latch on to some of that. And maybe even steal most of it, to be honest with you.
I realize that we're talking, 12 cars versus a field of 40, But look at what SRX is doing on these small tracks.
Yeah, huge crowds. They love it. They're hungry for racing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're packing the stands at these places, and you know that the draw of the Truck Series is going to be way more than SRX. And the Truck Series had a system in place that allowed it to race on tracks without a pit road.
Yeah.
You know, they could race at places that the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series couldn't race at. James, they can run dirt. They're freaking trucks. I get that they're not built for dirt, but why are
going
they
to
running on
Coda?
dirt?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I tell you what, another idea for this series is maybe, again, just stealing from SRX a little bit, but maybe you go and you lock down a couple of legends to be like, hey guys, a few times a year, we got to have a couple of names come out here and just beef up some of these venues. I mean, they could do it. I mean, the Truck Series could do it, Eric. NASCAR coming to your town. I mean, gosh, Eric, we were there at Eldora and we saw what it could be.
Yeah.
You know, it's I mean, it was amazing that first time out. And if you keep it fresh like that and do things like that, that's what the Truck Series can do really well. You have the bulk of your schedule be what it is. That's fine. Yeah. But you gotta make something special. There's nothing special about the Truck Series right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to poo-poo the Truck Series because I do think that it's a great series.
They race great, yeah.
I just don't think that they're being showcased the way that they should be. One, because of the schedule, and this playoff schedule where we've got these giant gaps is just stupid. Why not? Why not end the Truck Series this weekend at Martinsville? Why do they have to end the same weekend as the Cup Series and Xfinity Series? Let's end it this weekend at How great! I get it that it would be a crap show, but how great of a crap show would that be to watch Truck Series end at Martinsville?
Yep. Or have them end at Talladega.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is you could end it any time.
Be crazy with it.
Yeah, give these guys more of an off season. They're not getting the exposure they need to get or they should get. And they're getting lost as a result. And we're seeing teams fold up and teams go elsewhere to the bigger series because the series isn't doing it for them anymore.
Yep. There's nothing special about it, man.
When Kyle Busch sells out of the Truck Series, that concerns me, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And GMS.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. But I know, I think it's no different, James, than Kyle Busch getting a change of scenery. This Truck Series needs a change of scenery right now, and it's not getting it where it's at. And so the thing is okay, so we have these 3 series that run on these big tracks, and then NASCAR bought ARCA. What have they done with ARCA? They haven't done shit with ARCA. I mean,
get the bleep button out.
I'm not even going to bleep it. It's like, it's so like, we have 15 divisions of ARCA. You got fields of, 15 cars showing up to short tracks on the actual ARCA Menard Series schedule. I mean, they had 17 cars or something like that, 15 cars at Berlin. Yep. But let's move the Truck Series in that direction. Let's make ARCA more of a division, get rid of the national ARCA series, run ARCA regional series, run the Truck Series as the national short track series. I don't know. NASCAR's got so many properties and no competition right now that they can just kind of crap away these lower series until they die.
Yep.
And I just feel like I don't see a future right now, the direction that we're going for the Truck Series in 5 years. I just don't. I'm scared of what's going to happen to it. I don't want to see it go away.
No.
But I don't think it has any business running on the same tracks week in and week out as the Cup Series. I think a Daytona and Talladega truck race is entertaining, but they really don't have much business being there. I would rather see them get rid of those races and run them on short tracks.
Yep, exactly.
There sure is no reason they should be running places like...
Nope. It should be more regional, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, okay, let's finish them all at Phoenix then. Great, that's fine. So Phoenix is kind of a short track, or whatever track we end the season on for the Cup Series. But let's get them elsewhere and quit running these companion races. So I don't know. I'm off my soapbox.
Here.
I'm passionate about this series just like the other two, and I want to see it succeed. And I just don't think it's going to the way it is. So
yeah, it's in trouble right now. I think I'm not happy with where we're at with it. That's for sure.
I mean, there's time to save it. I just hope we do it before there's not time. So
yep.
Let's talk some news. There's not a whole lot, but if you're a sprint car fan, there's pretty big news. The All-Star Circuit of Champions has a new owner. Tony Stewart has sold it to Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet in high limit sprint cars. I'm assuming one series. Is that what the talk is? I haven't really read any of these.
There's not a whole lot of news about it. I would expect it all to run under one umbrella, but I think High Limit might stick.
Maybe hold their own events.
Yeah, I think so.
This is a win all around, right? I mean, this is in really good hands with Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet.
Yep, guys who love it are going to take good care of it, and I think they'll be able to build it up. Honestly, so. I mean, Brad Sweet's no joke.
If I was World of Outlaws, I'd probably be a little nervous right now.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, World of Outlaws kind of ran Larson away a little bit, and he's been doing it on his own.
Sweet's still racing there, right? Isn't he?
I think he is. Yeah, he is. I
mean, that will change.
There's big money to be had there. But Larson, he just goes for the big trophies too. You know, he wins Knoxville Nationals, things like that.
Right.
This is really good for the All-Stars. You know, I think for like Tony's perspective, he's obviously he's on to new things now.
Well, Tony has said all along, and I forget, I think it was when he was on the Dale Jr. download, he kind of said that.
Yeah, I remember this.
He bought the series because it's the original 410 Sprint Car series. It predates the World of Outlaws.
It was in trouble.
It was in trouble. It was going to die, and he bought it and raised it from the dead. And he hinted then that he was ready if the right people came along that could continue it on. He would, be done with it. Yes. And he found the right buyers, and that's awesome. I mean, this is good for everybody involved.
Yes, and I think Tony is at the point in his life where he has a huge portfolio. I think he's starting to pare it down. I mean, you remember he was trying to sell his house.
Right.
And he talked about that in the download as well, but he didn't end up selling it. He's keeping it, but
I think the right person comes along for Eldora, he'd sell that too.
He might. He's got a pretty big attachment to that one. That's a tough one, but yeah, he might. He
knows the person's going to do it right. Again, this series, it's not like he's just selling it to the high bidder. I mean, this is Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet. If there's two guys that are more passionate about dirt racing, you find them and show them to me. So,
and I would venture to guess that the All-Stars are bringing in maybe breaking even, a little bit better than breaking even right now.
Yeah.
Whereas if you bring in Larson and Sweet with High Limit, it's gonna change the game. They've got a plan now.
Brad Sweet comes and races in the series. You're selling more tickets just alone.
All-Stars were in our backyard, and if you told me Brad Sweet was coming to town, I'd be definitely interested in watching that.
I'll tell you, they put on a hell of a show with what they had. That's for sure. I mean, it was a great show to watch 410 sprint cars on the little track we have here in our town.
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible to see them turn in. I don't remember what I sent you guys, but I think they were like 9-10 second laps.
Yeah, oh man,
it's insane.
Yeah.
It was incredible, but they
put
on a good show. They do a good job.
They're good. Yep, absolutely. I love it.
So good for them. Good for Kyle and Brad.
Give it to the young bucks, man. The Smoke, he doesn't need to do this forever.
Well, it's just like Junior and Harvick and those guys buying into the Cars Tour. These guys are here to keep the legacies alive, and these series are in good hands with these types of guys coming in there. And it's better than a company like NASCAR coming in and buying it and blending it in and watering it down like they've done with ARCA.
Yes. Yep.
So there you go. Silly season news, not a whole lot again. I guess the big news this week, Chandler Smith said he will not. Well, Kaulig says he won't return, or Chandler Smith says he won't return in 2024 or whatever. He was under contract.
There was a buyout.
Yeah, it's an early contract release.
2 years, by the way.
Yeah.
2-year buyout.
Looking likely, Joe Gibbs Racing, probably that's the rumor.
Yes, probably, maybe, sort of.
Yeah, for Chandler Smith. So it's really looking like we're going to see old Chandler Smith and why am I blanking on the name, James?
Either the 19 or the 20 or the 18 or the 20 for Joe Gibbs.
Yeah. So,
well, he was a Toyota, and you probably remember he was a Toyota driver with Kyle Busch for a while, and came up through the Joe Gibbs pipeline, and there was no room at the inn for him. Yep. And now there's plenty of room because there's no seats filled.
I don't know why I was drawing a blank on the name. The other name I was looking for is
Sheldon Creed. Yeah, Sheldon Creed.
Likely will be one of the other JGR cars next season.
Yes.
So
yep, those guys will pair it up. So.
That's a pretty good grab for JGR for a team that right now is like, man, who's going to run those Xfinity cars? Who could they possibly get? Well,
yeah,
a couple good drivers, good names to stick in those cars. So
got some, and they've got guys who can kind of swing in and out like Trevor Bayne and Ryan Truex, and there's a lot of other guys who will run that 19 from time to time. So yeah, I think it's a good deal for them.
So my question for you is the win at the Roval and this news, does that keep AJ Allmendinger in that Cup car next year?
We discussed this just a little bit before the pod, but Kaulig doesn't have anybody, so they're going to have to keep him in the Cup Series. Yeah.
I mean, who else could they possibly grab to put in that seat? I don't think there's anybody else ready to go in there, right?
They're gonna need to. They're gonna need to keep him unless there's a guy with a sponsorship coming in the door.
I mean, we do still have the 10 car that's hanging out there. We don't know what's happening with the 10 car.
In their Xfinity program, they have a 10 and the 11 that they don't. Yeah, there's no seats filled for those cars.
We still don't know certainly what Noah Gregson's going to do next year. So I guess.
Yeah, Noah's up in the air still. We assume that now that he's going to Stewart-Haas, but we're not. That's not set in stone.
Yeah,
and I don't know about that one just yet. So, yeah, a lot of seats available yet. We're gonna find out.
Definitely winding down though.
Yes,
definitely winding down.
Yeah, the Xfinity Series is going to be a little messy here for another month or two, but it'll get there.
The Xfinity Series really, historically, you kind of see the contract signings the couple weeks after the season ends, and then the Truck Series is like January. You start seeing the Truck Series lock down their rides. So
most of the big names are gone now, though. Or they're tied up. Like Josh Berry's out of the series, and John Hunter Nemechek's going to be out of the series.
Yeah.
Carson Hocevar's not even coming to the series. Right. He's going around it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Kind of, big deal here.
Interesting. That's it for news. We had the Martinsville Speedway this weekend. 2 series in action. The Cup Series runs the Xfinity 500. Xfinity Series will run the Dead on Tools 250. Before we make our picks, James, I just wanted to revisit our viral moment, NASCAR's viral moment last season.
Oh, God.
We are 1 year removed from the Hail Melon.
Ugh.
That got Ross Chastain into the playoffs. So before you poo-poo it, because I know you're gonna go off on it because you hate Ross Chastain and you're a bully. I wanted to revisit this really quick. I watched a video on this week too, and no, this moment has not lived up to the hype. I mean, it was a cool moment. NASCAR didn't capitalize on it. It didn't help our ratings. It didn't, in the end, move. I mean, NASCAR was trending on social media for a week, and then it didn't move the needle in the long run. No. So, in the long run, no big deal. But let's look back at what the story behind this, James, because watching this video kind of put it on into perspective and reminded me of exactly what we were dealing with. Remember that Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin had a bunch of run-ins last year. These two were at each other's throats. They hated each other. They were bitter rivals. And coming into the last turn on the last lap and the last race before they locked him in, Denny Hamlin is in the playoffs. He is ready to go race for a championship, expecting to win a championship, and Ross Chastain is 2 points out. And what does he do? I watched the video today. He comes off of turn 2. Well, he goes into turn 1. They tell him, you need 2 spots. Coming out of turn 2, he confirms, 2? Need 2? They said, yes. And he just upshifts to 5th and puts the pedal to the floor and puts it on the wall and rides the wall, passes, 6 cars?
A bunch, yeah.
Almost passes Denny.
He does pass Denny.
He
passes Denny at the line. Yeah.
Takes the spot. Leaves Denny just flabbergasted.
Look at what he did.
Knocks his bitter rival. It's a video game move. And gets himself into the playoffs. Of course, didn't do anything with it. He wrecked Chase Elliott, and that was the end of it. But still, just an incredible. I guess
I love that. I love that you just dropped that in there. It's so funny.
I guess if Ross would have went and won the championship, then this probably would be a different story.
It's the all-timer, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's the all-timer if he wins the title.
And it'll never happen again because, of course, NASCAR has banned the move, so we won't see it again this weekend. I mean, somebody may try it, but they're going to get penalized in theory. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, it didn't end up doing anything in the long run, but I still think it's a pretty damn cool.
It's an incredible rewatch. It's an incredible rewatch. It's history.
It still doesn't look real.
No, I know.
A year later, I still can't believe it. Every time, it's like Ryan Preece's flip. I just can't stop watching it. Or Austin Dillon flipping into the fence at Daytona.
God, yeah, that's
you just
another one.
can't stop watching it because it just doesn't look real.
Yes. Yeah.
I could watch it a million times and it never gets old.
Yeah, it's it's driving me nuts because it's all over the place now, but it'll fade. It'll fade.
Nah, I every time I see it, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's just drives
You
me
just
nuts.
don't like Ross Chastain.
Well, that's part of it, but he's not. I mean, he's not as bad as he used to be.
I like Ross.
Oh my God.
I'm a Ross Chastain fan.
Oh God.
Just because it pisses you off.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
All right, let's make our picks, James. First of all, before we do that, I want to just say congratulations. You are the 2023 champion, picks champion.
The picks champion.
There's no possible way I can come back. You're 130 points.
You needed to cut it to 120. Yeah.
Yeah, you're 130 points to the good, so it is over. You have won the title. On that note, I am going to pick Danica Patrick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm still going to go with the pick I was going to take. Not that it matters, and I'm going to go Christopher Bell as my pick this weekend.
Christopher Bell. Yep, doesn't matter because he's locked in. I'll save my last pick. There was a guy I was going to pick, and I'm going to pick him next week, so I'm going to save him. I haven't used this guy yet, and I think he's going to be pretty good. Chase Elliott.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Chase Elliott. We'll put Chase Elliott in there. He still has a shot. We haven't mentioned this stupid thing, and I can't believe I'm the one to mention it.
Yeah.
If he wins, he gets to race for the Owners' Championship, so he's not out of it yet.
I hope he does it just to screw this whole system up.
Yeah. God.
So, at risk of extending this podcast a lot longer, Jeff Gordon had some comments this past week, which I again facepalmed because apparently Jeff Gordon is the king of bad takes right now. You saw the comments where he talked about how fans should be fans of the team and not the driver. So when the driver leaves and goes to a different team, fans should stick with the team like they do with football and baseball and all that stuff.
No.
Yeah. I mean, like, what in the hell? I get that it's a team sport, but this is a driver sport. Right now, what do we talked about the entire show? We talked about the drivers' championship because nobody cares about the team championship. We care about the drivers. The drivers are the personalities we see. I don't know what Jeff Gordon's deal is right now. If he's trying to position himself with the whole TV or the owner's contract, or what he's trying to do. I don't. He's got to have a motive. But the article I read, I don't remember who had the article, but Brad Keselowski talked some stuff too, and Brad Keselowski was totally just talking like intelligent as Brad Keselowski does, and it was such a nice contrast to what Jeff Gordon was saying, because I don't know, man. I don't know what the heck's with his takes the last couple of weeks, but it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, he's misguided, I think, is probably the best way to say it.
I mean, you're just not. I'm sorry. James, I'm a fan of the sport. I don't necessarily cover the sport, but I watch every race. I literally watch every truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series race. I don't miss them, and I couldn't tell you who the crew chief is on 85% of the Cup Series teams, let alone the Xfinity and Truck Series teams.
Yep.
And certainly can't tell you who the car chief is or the right front tire changer or whatever. And these teams have made them interchangeable anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I get that they're rostered with a specific team, but they switch them up every week. And so, I don't know. It's just, sorry, Jeff, it's just not going to happen. We're going to be fans of the drivers. That's the way racing is. That's the way motorsports is. I mean, they tried to change that with the iCar Dash series. And, of course, they had their own tragedy that ended up ending that series in the long run, I think, or had played a big part in it. But it didn't work to brand the cars and try and get rid of the drivers. And because the drivers are that's the show, man.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
No, I know. It's tough because like drivers retire, and I've never come around to finding a new one. I like a handful of drivers. I like most of them.
Right. There's some rare circumstances where people will stick with the team, and it usually has to do with a retirement or a fatality. I mean, Dale Earnhardt, Kevin Harvick got a lot of fans because of Dale Earnhardt's death that he wouldn't have had. Jeff Gordon leaving has left fans for William Byron, really. I mean, I know Chase went in that car first, but Chase had his own fans. And a lot of the not a lot of the William Byron fans, but a lot of the Jeff Gordon fans are William Byron fans now. I certainly think Junior brought some fans over to Alex Bowman because Alex Bowman was Junior's chosen one. You know, we've seen those types of things. I don't think that Josh Berry is going to get a ton of Harvick fans.
No, he won't.
I just don't think so. I mean, Josh Berry's got a lot of Junior fans right now because he's Junior's boy. But I mean, Richard Petty, sure, when Richard Petty left, people followed the 43 car, but that's just not the case anymore.
Yep.
I think DBC referenced Wood Brothers. You know, a lot of people are Wood Brothers fans, and they followed that team all along. But we don't have those teams anymore. I mean, Childress maybe, but it's just not how it is.
Nope.
Sorry, Jeff.
Nope. I know. He's just a little misguided. That's all.
It's just, I mean, it's funny to me that the guy who changed the way stardom worked in NASCAR is the guy that's saying it should be different. Like, dude.
I don't know.
I
don't know, man. I can't defend him.
And I love Jeff. I love Jeff Gordon.
He's turning into Rick Hendrick just slowly.
Yeah, he is. He is. How'd fantasy go this week? I don't think I even looked at it because I knew that mine went really poorly.
I thought I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And then I won.
Nice. Well, I had Larson, Truex, and I think somebody else who had trouble. So I know I did bad.
Yeah, I had Truex, but I didn't have Larson. I don't know why. But I had Byron. I had all those other guys.
I didn't pick Bell.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, I had Brad, but Brad was on my bench, so that didn't matter.
Yeah, I had Bell. Hold on, let me see so Homestead results. I had myself, and then Barron Speedway, right there. Of
course.
199.
Has he been out of the top 3 all season for our league?
Not lately, no. Nobody had a good week. Only one finish over 200, which is pretty low. So I won. Barron second, and then Ranger was third. So keeping that going. Eric, you were fifth. You were good. Yeah, you were good. Top 5.
No, only because everybody else was bad.
The 4 fun playoff standings. I'm in the lead by 3 over Barron and Ranger. And then overall, Barron Speedway almost in the 7,000 club. We've never had that before.
Wow.
So he's nipping there, and then nipping at the heels there, and then I am second at 6,531, so almost 400 back. And then Ranger Runyon, 3-time champ, he is third. That's pretty much the battle. Second and third is now fourth is kind of stretched out a little bit, so we're coming down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to have my 4th top 2 finish with 1 title. So I guess I'm Kevin Harvick.
There you go.
So there you go.
Speaking of you mentioned playoff standings. I believe, is that the number you've got going down here on the bottom of our little picks points?
Yes, we have So for our picks,
I am winning the playoffs.
You are winning the playoffs, yeah. You're kicking my butt in the playoffs.
So at least I got something to be happy about.
Yeah, I wanted to do that for you. So
I was looking at this. So I won week 1, and after week 2, I've never led. That's it. Week 2 killed me.
So funny.
It's just ridiculous.
It's been a pretty rough season, and I clinched it.
I've had 3 1-point weekends. And
yes, you did.
4 single-digit weekends. No, 5.
And those were not
weekends.
No, those were not disqualifications either. Those were legit 1-pointers.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Although you did have last week, like I said, you had the only perfect week of the season.
Yeah, well,
you got the 60. Nobody else has gotten the 60 burger between me and you.
A lot of good that did me.
And you had the biggest margin of victory, 50. So there you go. You had that.
What a mess.
Yeah, there was a time there. I was way up at one point. You've tightened it up over the last 10 weeks, but yeah, it got closer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
I have 1 single-digit finish this year. I do have 1 1-pointer. Thanks, Ryan Blaney. But yeah, you're 3. That's whew. Yep, good stuff.
All right, there we go. Shout outs, James. Got any shout outs this week?
I have kind of a shout out and kind of a black flag. I'm gonna do it at the same time.
Do you want me to do my shout out first then?
Yeah, go ahead. Do your shout out.
All right, my shout out, another YouTube video, Black Flags Matter, was the YouTube video. They did, or the YouTube channel, they did a retrospective on Rick Corelli. One of only a couple drivers who have survived. I think 3 Cup Series drivers or NASCAR drivers that have survived basilar skull fracture. The most recent one as well.
Yep. Ernie Irvan on that list.
Yep. Ernie Irvan and Stanley Smith, I think, was the other one. If I remember correctly.
Yep.
But yeah,
Think so.
Rick Corelli, great piece on him. I guess I didn't quite, I mean, I knew that Rick Corelli was injured, but I wasn't really following the Truck Series real close at the time. And just to see that his turn, I mean, he came back and won a race in the Truck Series. He raced in other series. He's a spotter now. His story's pretty cool. So worth checking out the video. It's a nice little retrospective on what happened. And, he was having a pretty good season when he had the accident too. So, very cool for Black Flags Matter to do that, piece. And it was an interesting watch. So
Good deal.
there you go. What you got, James?
Shout out and black flag to you, sir.
Oh my God.
So I'm driving back from Saginaw, the other day, Sunday.
Yes.
We go to the zoo with our kids, right? And we have a fun time. And
Where
I take
is this going?
I know you're gonna love this. So I decide, well, we're gonna go to the other side of Saginaw, but I gotta go by the Dow Event Center, which I know you frequent quite a bit.
Yes.
So those listening not from Michigan, Saginaw Dow Event Center, if you want to get a idea of where I'm going here, I make a turn and I head towards the other side of town, and as I'm driving, I don't know, less than half a mile, maybe a quarter of a mile from the Dow Event Center, what catches my eye but an orange bus. A giant orange bus. Have you seen this giant orange bus?
No.
So I'm not kidding you. Right next to the Dow Event Center, there is a giant orange bus painted up like Tony Stewart's 2003 Home Depot Monte Carlo.
Really?
Yeah, it's got the 20 on the side. I did not stop to get a picture because I was a little scared of where I was looking.
Yeah, I would be scared over there too.
However, I will say I have to send you the location of where this is at. You got to go see it.
I will drive by it. I'm
It
going,
looks like
I'm
it
going to
maybe
the Dow
spent
on
some-
Saturday, on Friday and Saturday this weekend.
It looks like it spent some time at MIS is what I'm thinking. I wonder if it's on the Google map, but I saw it and I went.
So the black flag is to me for not telling you about it?
You spend more time at that place than anybody I know, and you did not tell me about this.
Definitely told you about it. Anytime I see a Tony Stewart reference, I definitely tell you.
I know, and I was like, what did Eric do? So I was immediately flustered, and I was all upset, and I told my wife, and my kids, my wife, nobody knew what I was talking about.
Surprised you didn't just cancel on me today.
Oh, I sounded like a complete buffoon too. I was like, "Did you guys see that Tony Stewart bust?" No, nobody cared. I believe I was heading down, so it's Davenport Avenue. I'll send you the. I'll find it on the Google map and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me.
Right about's where it was. And
I'll go look for it on Friday.
Anyway.
Well, no, if I'd have seen it, I definitely would let you know.
All right. Well, I don't see it on the Google map, but I know where it's at.
I'll be
I'll
curious
send it to
exactly where it is because that'll lead me. It'll show me whether I'm just tunnel driving or whether it's just an area I don't pass.
I mean, you can see it from 675 if you look for it, I think. So anyway.
Well, right now they got the construction on 675 though.
Nobody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah. So
nobody knows.
Apparently, I need to change the battery in my smoke detector too because it's gone off twice during this show.
Oh, I see it on Google Maps. I'm gonna send you an image.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet.
Unbelievable. It looks so good. Whoever did this did a really good job.
Huh. I will have to check that out. Okay, so
I'm gonna send it. I'm sending it right now.
I have 2 black flags, James.
I got to get it before the podcast is over.
All right, I will definitely take a look at it. I have my messages popped up right now. So, 2 black flags for me this week. The first one, I know he raced this weekend, but I'm giving a black flag to Dale Jr.
Oh no!
And I'm not specifically Dale Jr., but his company. Because Saturday, I had a Saginaw Spirit game that I was shooting, right? Or no, my boys had a football game. That's what it was. My boys were at a football game. And so I watched the truck race because we had to be there 2 hours early for this football game to drop the boys off. And rather than go do something, we just sat there in the parking lot and waited for the game to start. So I watched Truck Series on my iPad, Truck Series race. And I started watching the Xfinity race, and I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to save it for when I get home because, we'll get done early enough. I'll have plenty of time to watch the race tonight. So I'm like, okay, I'll just stop. I watched like 5 laps. I'm like, nope, I will wait till I can sit down and really enjoy it. So I'm at the football game and pull out my phone a couple times, and I'm very careful when I'm tape delaying a race to not check social media, right? I avoid Facebook. I know to avoid Twitter. I know to avoid Instagram. I even avoid TikTok now because they'll sometimes feed me the NASCAR algorithm, and I don't want to know who won the race, right?
Yep.
But I check my personal email, and frickin' Dale Jr. Motorsports sends me an email, subject line, Sam Mayer wins at Homestead. Get your merchandise now. I'm like, damn it,
that's your fault.
Gotta be freaking kidding me. Freaking.
Yep.
So I knew who won the race, but I watched it anyway. So.
Yep, that's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so irritating. So my other one, James, did you catch any of the replay of or the clips or anything from the Cars Tour Pro Late Model race at Tri-County Speedway this week?
No, I did not see this.
So during that race, there was an incident. Caden Quapple was battling with Katie Hettinger for the lead with I don't know, I think there was 20 laps to go or something like that. Katie Hettinger, for those people who are from this area, is a late model driver from here in Michigan. She races out at Birch Run. She's been around here, and she's run in the Cars Tour and the Pro Late Models and all over the country. She's been in some of these big shows. So she's leading the race. Caden Quapple, I can't remember exactly what happened, but somehow they got together and Hettinger spins and wrecks. Caution comes out. Caden's leading. Caden gets penalized. They put him to the back of the pack because of the contact. Okay. They restart the race. They run one lap. Coming into turn one, caution flag. Show the replay. Katie Hettinger just flat out wrecks Caden Quapple. Wrecks herself, tears her own car up, worse than Caden did. Anyway, race continues. Caden goes on. I think he's running third. Coming to the checkered flag, Ashton Higgins, Gavin Boschel racing for the win. One of them, I don't know which one. One of them wrecks the other one. Coming out to turn 4, spins him out. Caden Quapple ends up giving the win as a result. And there's a big fight after the race because that's what we do now. And so my black flag is to these freaking local short track racers who are supposed to be the up and coming drivers in our sport, who continue to turn these races every weekend into a WWE event, wrecking each other on the track, no respect for their cars, no respect for their own damn cars, where they tear their own car up worse trying to wreck somebody. And then everybody fighting after the race. It's just stupid. And by the sounds of things, one of the teams involved in this was the same team that was involved in the incident at Winchester last week. It's so, I love drama and this stuff's fun to watch once in a while, but it just gets stupid and silly. And especially when you're tearing up equipment and fighting, it's like, for God's sake.
You can fix it, Eric. Make them fix their own stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But, I looked to see if there were any penalties announced. I would hope that Katie at least is going to get some time off for intent. I mean, she right hooked Caden coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, you don't want to do the right hook.
No, the right hook should earn you time off. It's just, this stuff's stupid. Come on, guys. Too much Bowman Gray. Stop watching Bowman Gray. Let's have real racing and be good sports about it when things happen. And it wasn't a blatant wreck type thing. It was not worthy of the retaliation. And I'm just tired of it.
There you go.
Did you send me the thing? I don't see it.
It's in Facebook Messenger.
Oh, it's in Facebook Messenger. Okay. Let me open it up before we sign off here because I want you to get my reaction. Where is that?
It's right. I should have grabbed the map location.
Yeah,
it's off of Davenport. It's on the corner of Davenport, right across the bridge.
Assure you I have not seen that. Because I would certainly have noticed that. All right. Well,
it's in good shape, too.
Yeah, it is. You can give me the black flag. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that sucker's been at Michigan for sure.
Oh, yeah, it has to be.
Definitely. All right,
it
James.
Looks good. It's awesome.
Why don't you share it on social media too? And where would you do that if you shared it on social media?
at James Cush on X or Twitter, whatever the heck. I
am on at T Super Speedway on X. The podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can find old episodes of the podcast, show notes, links to things we've discussed, all that stuff there. The podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Anchor. Wherever you found us today, we hope you subscribe and continue to listen to new episodes each week. And if you go to anchor.fm/thesuperspeedway, you can leave us an audio message, and we might just play it on the show. 2 races left to go in the NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR Xfinity Series. We head to Martinsville Speedway this weekend for the Xfinity 500 in the Cup Series, the Dead On Tools 250, and we lock in the last 2 sets of Final Four before we head to Phoenix for the championship in all 3 series. We'll be back next week to break it all down and preview your championship races in the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and Cup Series. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.